Live from Las Vegas, Anthony. No Vacancy Live, part 2. How are you?
You look like you're in a jail cell, not Vegas.
Not quite, but close. I'll tell you in a second.
I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. I, of course, am Glenn Hausman. That, of course, is Anthony Melchiori. Now, Anthony, you're making fun of me. You're saying, hey, Glenn, you are in prison. Well, I had a little situation last night on casino floor. So they threw me in that back security room, and they're like, dude, you must podcast from jail. So that's what we're going to be doing today here at Mandalay Bay.
Yeah, and I came to visit you, but I'm outside your jail cell in the lobby because I just couldn't take it.
Bring me.
I tell you, I have all the rooms we've done our podcast from. We're in Vegas. We should be in a beautiful room, and that looks like a jail cell. So I came into the lobby at least to show you this beautiful ceiling and kind of where I'm at.
Well,
I'm actually
in spot over there. Could you show us a little bit before we bring in our guest in?
Yeah.
Oh, now that's a view right there, baby.
Yeah. All right, I'll sit here and
yeah.
There you go.
All right, I love that.
No, that doesn't work.
Oh, well.
But anyway, go ahead, my friend.
All right. So, everybody, welcome. We are very excited. So, yesterday was a great conversation, Anthony. We spoke to SVP with MGM Resorts International. We spoke to the guy who's running their loyalty program. It was really fun to see how the casino business in general operates. And one of the things that I find fascinating, though, is it's still very siloed from the traditional hotel business. Now, here in the traditional hotel business, we're attending Choice Hotels' annual conference this year. So we're going to do a live show with someone today and one tomorrow, all about what they're up to. But Anthony, I thought it'd be fun for today's show because everyone is so focused on that revenue equation to speak again to a revenue manager. Now, a few weeks ago, you would recall you were on assignment, so you weren't with us, but I had the great chance to speak with Caesar Worm, who's VP of Revenue Management over at IHG Hotels. We had on producer Dave, who was talking about what he's experiencing as a general manager, pushing rates at his specific hotels. And now, at the AHOA event a couple of weeks ago, we spoke to the good people at Ideas. Remember, talking all about data science and really how to create a formula for revenue success. And the cool thing is that Ideas is partnered with Choice Hotels on their Choice Max revenue program. And to talk a little bit about where they are with setting rates and how to really maximize profitability to hotels, we've got with us Mr. Doug Lisi, VP of Revenue Management with Choice Hotels. Welcome, Doug. How are you?
Thanks for having me here.
I'm so sorry that that situation, and I got you arrested too and put in this jail cell. But at least we're together.
Yes, it's good to be face to face with you.
Excellent. So I had fun, watching the general session yesterday. I saw Rob McDowell up on stage, for example, and he was talking all about what you're doing. And the thing that struck me most is how mature revenue strategy has become during the past number of years. And a lot of that has to do with companies like Ideas really pushing the bar forward. So if you just start us off, tell us a little bit about what you folks are thinking right now as somebody who's operating on the revenue management side for all of your portfolio of brands. I think you're up to like 13 now or something, right?
Yes. And so we've seen a really unprecedented demand over the last 12 months as we started to see the vaccine being distributed across the United States. We've been seeing that pent-up travel come back, weekend travel come back. And what we're really seeing with our investment with Ideas and trying to bring a new revenue management system to life is that we're able to capture new rate more than ever.
Right.
And when we launched the revenue management system, we immediately saw rate begin to grow. And now with the hyperinflation environment, we're able to keep pace. Our franchisees are able to keep pace with that rate environment, which then ultimately drives profitability for them.
Right. Anthony, you want me to keep going on while you get there?
No, like I was saying to Doug off air, I'm a little worried with, like he said, he mentioned inflation.
Yeah.
Next year, where are people going to be? I think our rates are going to be a little flatter than we anticipate due to all the things that are at play. Doug, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're seeing double-digit rate growth across the United States. That's primarily driven by the leisure customer. we're confident that as we move through the rest of this year, we'll continue to see increases in demand from leisure, but also through corporate and group customers out there. So we are confident demand will continue to grow into 2022, 2023, and probably into 2024. What is less uncertain is what is going to happen with rate. Right now, we're in that double-digit rate growth, as we've seen really beginning in Q3, Q4 of last year, and continues on to the early part of 2022. We're confident that we'll see rate growth through the rest of this year, but we'll have to continue to watch what to see happens in 2023. Right. I think it's going to be more of a flatter growth and more of a demand growth driven economy.
And how connected are you into the service part of it as rates grow? And we all know all the challenges we're having. How are you dealing with the value?
Well, service is critical to demanding the rate growth that we have today, right? So I think customers are a little bit more lenient as that pent-up demand is critical to driving that rate. But we have to deliver on service. And as they're coming back and they're seeing the hotel for the first time, housekeeping has to be there, labor standards have to be high, and we just have to deliver on a good quality product as well as the service to ensure we continue the rate growth that we have.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the interesting thing I found, Anthony, was yesterday during the business general session that they had, and that's when they had like 5,000 people all in one room, and we got to hear from CEO Pat Pacious and other key executives. One of the things that Pat Pacious was saying was that STR is predicting by the end of this year we're going to be back at 2019 rates, and then pushing it as in aggregate industry wide. Something, what was it, 9% or something like that, Doug? And then I think 14% the year after that, right? Yes. Hey, I remembered all of that, and I'm in Las Vegas. It's pretty good feat for me right there. So, Doug, that was really interesting to me. And Anthony, I'll tell you, man, those numbers are very different from what we've been hearing. Remember, we were hearing like it won't be until like 2023 until we get back to, those kinds of rates.
Well, apparently you don't listen to me, because what did we say about 2 months ago? That the last 6 months, what did I say? Quote what I said.
I believe you said, Glenn, you are the smartest human being on the planet. Did I get that exactly right? It was either that or everybody's pushing rates really strong right now. And
the last 6 months are going to be the best 6 months we've ever had in our industry.
Yes, that is absolutely right. Thank you for finishing that up for me. Yeah.
And I'm also trying to give you different backgrounds. Look at this.
Yes, I love it. But Doug, what's interesting is being that you folks happen to be in a category of properties that seems to really respond well in up markets and down markets. Obviously, COVID was a different type of crisis, but you all kept 90% of your hotels open in April of 2020. And that was pretty impressive by focusing on the essential workers and that sort of thing. And then it seems like you were really able to leverage people that were still on the road, particularly in that economy segment. I'll let you throw out some of the numbers about how well you did on that one.
So what we quickly realized starting in April of 2020 is if we could convince our franchisees to stay open, we could fill the hotels.
Yeah.
And really starting in April, we saw demand come back from that essential worker. And then followed by that in that Memorial Day weekend, demand for the leisure business started to pick up all through the summer. And we've continued to see that trend very early on in April of 2020 into 2021. Right. Hotel company to reach 2019 levels at the end of 2021. So demand has been there. And we were confident that as long as the franchisee stays open, which was not happening at our competition at the same rate,
right?
That we could fill those hotels with people.
Yeah, and I think that's really essential if you would be able to fill those hotels with people. And it was amazing to me. It's almost kind of like as soon as those vaccines started getting out there, the spigot was turned on, pretty good amount. And then you just continue to build from there. But the question I have is, if we're talking about double-digit rate increases, how much more can we continue to push this before people start to say, well, maybe I'll just stay home? And I'm not talking about gas, because I'm a big believer that people are still going to travel no matter what, just like they were saying on stage, even if it's shorter distances. How do you see that?
Well, I think the broader macro environment for the industry still remains intact. Supply is relatively consistent with demand. and we'll continue to see demand grow, supply remain pretty flatline. The business environment for lending will be pretty neutral. We'll have to see what the rate increases come out of the Fed happen in the next couple of days.
Right.
And then we'll ultimately be in a good environment to continue to grow rate, but just not the levels that we've seen. Now, coupled with the investment that we made in our revenue management system, we're able to introduce new functionality to our franchisees to help ensure they capture every dollar the customer is willing to pay. And with intraday optimization, same day optimizations, we're confident we can continue to drive rate.
Yeah, that's essential. Oh, I think Anthony settled in a new location. Are you feeling good there, Anthony? Oh, wait, I have you muted. I think I was feeling intimidated by you because you got all these great facts and I couldn't handle it anymore. So where are you most excited about your ability to grow business, and how are you thinking about that as you continue to push those rates, because you're kind of a little bit different than some of the other hotel companies, and as I said, it worked well to your advantage, but most of them are on that focused service opportunity, right? So really the only way you could bring more profitability to the bottom line is charge more or spend less, right? So is there any other things that you're thinking about in terms of driving profitability to the bottom line in your sector?
Well, we're continuing to work on our Choice Privileges program to make sure we enroll every member possible to get their flexibility. We know the more loyal members that we have coming into our hotel will drive stronger profitability and return guests to our hotels. So we have a dual focus on not only driving rate, but making sure that when they come, they have experienced a strong customer experience, and sign up for the loyalty program so they continue to receive those benefits and promotions.
That's funny you said. I was just about to say Choice Privileges, because that's a really great way to engage those people in a more meaningful way that's got a layer of depth to it, right?
And how does Choice Privileges differ from maybe other brands as well?
Well, Choice Privileges, you start earning rewards from day one. And those rewards are you can earn the fastest way to free nights compared to any other program. And there's a ton of tremendous value within our current program. The max number of points that you need for any one of our hotels is 30,000 points. And that has remained consistent over the last 5 years.
Wow.
So even as rate continues to grow, the amount of points you need at any of our hotels has remained consistent. So the value continues to grow at a point level for our loyalty members.
Wow, that's really interesting. So friend of the show, Kyle's got a great question. It seems the Wall Street roller coaster and inflation is having no effect on raising rates, specifically around hotels, I believe he's saying. However, do you think that once people get these vacations out of the way, it will slow down demand? Everyone's been talking about pent-up demand. Nobody's talking about the post-pent-up.
I think demand's going to shift. So right now we're seeing leisure coming in on that Thursday, that extended leisure business coming on Thursday, staying through Monday. What is going to continue to happen is leisure will continue through the summer, but then we're going to see a transition coming into the fall where group business continues to come back and corporate travel comes back. So we're going to have a change into the mix of business, but the demand will still be there overall. It's going to shift from the weekends back to the midweek, and we'll see a pretty normal booking curve and a length of stay back to where we were pre-pandemic.
So what makes you believe that to be true? What evidence are you seeing internally that you can confidently do that? Because I love hearing that business is coming back.
So what we see from our manager accounts to our global sales team is that those accounts that they manage are traveling, and they're traveling at rates at higher than their 2019 level, right? So we do see the transportation, logistics, healthcare, all coming back to it. And then as we're watching their continued travel, we're seeing the financial service, the information technology sector, the whole white collar travel continue to increase and at a steady rate compared to 2019 in their demand levels. So we continue to see that group business, group leads, that are coming into our central RFP tool are growing each and day. And the amount of leads that we're getting are way beyond what we were seeing in 2019, and the appetite to get back into these group settings that we're having here at convention it's just tremendous.
Yeah, the Anthony, I mean, the fact that there's about 5,000 people here is pretty awesome.
I was going to say this is an indication of travel getting back. I mean, having a convention in Vegas is helping travel get back, and Vegas is as busy as I've ever seen it. So, are you having the numbers to this convention that you had pre-2019?
We are at 2019 levels, so we are still counting how many people are coming in. But as of last count, as day one, we were at 2019 levels, and we expect to succeed that as we go through day 2 and day 3 today.
Right. That's pretty cool. And, in this building, we're at Mandalay Bay right now. Not only do we have this big event, but iSpa was here. HD Expo was just last week. I know a lot of people that have basically camped out here for 2 weeks, and it is absolutely robust, which I think is a good bellwether for the rest of the country out there.
So, if I can ask you a question, as you're seeing this demand and you're seeing these rates, when you have several different hotel brands in market, meaning your hotel brands in market, how do you differentiate? Because there could be a hotel that maybe is a little bit higher standard, but your rate, you can get just as much rate in that other brand. How do you deal with that? Because I imagine every brand's having that problem right now. And if you go to New York, I mean, if you're a 3-star hotel or a 4-star hotel, the rates are the same. So how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, that is, I would say, the paradox of a revenue management system. It can drive as near value in rate for a product that is at a different chain scale. And so it's imperative that our franchisees then deliver the service, because that's where it's going to make the difference for the customer.
Right.
The product, people don't care anymore if there's molding on the walls, or if there's wallpaper on the walls, or if there's 24-hour room service. That's not what's going to make the difference. What is going to make the difference
is a pretty lamp. Sorry.
It is exactly. It is the service that they feel, personalized service coming to the hotel. They feel connected with the individuals working at that hotel, and they're having that memorable experience. And so that's where you'll get in the different chain scales that we have, that different type of experience. At an extended stay property, you'll be able to bring that family feeling with you, that apartment style feeling with you, and really be able to capture a different experience that you would at a Cambria that provides those extras, like a bar at night, or room service during the day.
Glenn, I'm surprised you've never picked a hotel based on the lamps. I'm shocked.
I do that exclusively. That's why I said it. I thought everybody else did, but apparently I am alone on that. So what are you gonna
Although I'm actually at the Crockford Hotel here in Vegas, staying there, and I was sitting on my couch last night, and I spent about a half hour looking at all the paintings in the room.
Yep.
And I was like, they're gorgeous. So maybe it wasn't the lamp, but I definitely going to choose the hotel for the.
Well, Crockford's is very special, Doug. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's the highest end product over at the Resorts World Casino down the street. It's really, really fantastic. I had the chance to stay there. Well, stayed with you there in last December, I believe.
Well, you didn't stay with me, but we stayed in the same hotel.
Well, we stayed on the same floor. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Actually, I did mean to imply that we were coupling and sharing the same room. But now you've
as we said, we're too old to share a room.
Doug, how are you starting to think a little bit differently about the profile of the traveler? Because as we've discussed many times here on No Vacancy Live, but you haven't been here before, so you're not familiar with it. We were saying before the pandemic started that the rise of the digital nomad it was valid. Throughout the pandemic, we realized that not only is it real and valid, but we thought where we'd be 10 years from now with digital nomads. We seem to have suddenly appeared because of the acceleration of all trends in the marketplace. You mentioned a little bit earlier about that Thursday to Monday business, but how are you starting to rethink the changing profile of a customer and how they can work remotely and stay in some of your hotels while having great experiences?
Yeah, so that's where we're seeing people travel for longer periods of stay. Right, they're saying we saw through the pandemic a length of stay that was far superior than many of our hotels, and the amount of business that we're getting for that extended stay customer, even in a traditional comfort or Quality Inn, has grown. And so they're trying to, as you call it, the digital nomad, spend more time where it matters to them. And so they feel they can do work anywhere. And we're trying to make that possible. And that's where the Tourist Privileges program really allows them to earn those free nights faster and really build that network effect of trying to get more nights for free quicker.
Yeah, that's good, and that's really what people are looking for, to be able to have those experiences. How are you thinking about? It was mentioned on stage, and this is something that Anthony and I have been talking a lot about. People leaving the workforce. We talked about that great resignation and stuff like that, but it's more of a great retirement that's happening, right? So,
Yes.
why don't you speak to that a little bit? Since,
Yeah,
it was something you covered yesterday.
I mean, what we've seen is post-pandemic now, there's 3 times more people retiring than they were pre-pandemic. And our typical consumer is in that 55 age range. And so we're seeing a tremendous amount of growth from people retiring, coupled with a tremendous amount of savings. So savings across the United States is at an all-time high, and they're looking to spend that money.
Right.
And we're seeing that traveler continue to come to our hotels, stay longer, and be more flexible on the types of services that they're looking to get at the hotel.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anthony?
No, it's interesting. I wonder
Can you hear
if
us, Anthony?
the 2 years sitting in your house and not being able to spend your money had anything to do with the savings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it definitely did, right? I mean, not only that, but for me in particular, anecdotally speaking, my whole business got rocked, right? So I went into cash conserve mode, and a lot of people went into that mode because they were having similar problems, or they just didn't leave their house and couldn't spend any money, right? So they have that.
And that's why people are just losing their
combine
minds
that
and
extra
going on
cash that they had
vacation.
around, plus with the insanity of the stock market's incredible years. And they're like, F it, I have this perception that I have money. I might as well go spend some real money and give it to the good folks at Choice Hotels, right?
Right. And I think one of the key things is so many people put off some milestones in their life, right? And a lot of that is what we're seeing is now being pushed and condensed into a time frame that pushes people to be on the road more often than they were traditionally were.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anthony, you got any more questions for our friend Doug here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Anthony?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, the internet here is not working so great. It's totally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You got any more questions? Yeah, the internet is not working too well. It's crashing on us over here. Yes. Yeah, this makes for great TV.
It does. Can you hear me at all? Can you hear me at all or no?
Oh well, I guess because I'm in jail here. So what are you gonna do? Yeah. All right, Doug, any final words and stuff like that?
No, I would just say
like 5 minutes late. Let's try again. Doug, go for it.
sure. I mean, what I would say is I think travel demand will continue to grow for the next 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the rate that we will continue to see won't be the double digits that we are currently seeing, but we're confident that rate growth will continue to be out there as there's that shift between leisure consumers to business consumers, and that return to group business is really critical to driving that rate.
Right.
As we're able to build that baseline of business now going forward into 2023 and 2024, that will make us sure that we're confident in driving more demand and more rate for our franchisees.
All right, so I'm gonna fight this a little bit more. I really got a little bit more information out of it. What I found interesting was you're getting smarter with the way that you're actually pricing things in that moment, right? Before you used to make changes in prices or recommendations, pricing 3-4 times a day, but now it's basically continuous at like 100,000 times a day. How is that helping you really understand marketplace? And I'm thinking in terms, again, of like an event that something like that suddenly pops.
So with the revenue management system that we partnered with Ideas, we're able to do optimization after every booking. So every time someone books or cancels, we're able to make that trade-off between rate and occupancy. We continue to drive rate up, or do we make a demand decision? And so as a result of the power of our Choice Edge system, which is in the cloud, scalable, and stream data automatically with our ideas partner, we're able to ensure optimization after every booking. And as a result of that, if there's cancellation, if there's an event, if someone, as you guys know, during pandemic, a lot of events were moved from different dates. We're able to know when that event moves instantly through the partnership that we built with Ideas, and know how to re-optimize that day based on that event moving. And as a result of that, we can definitely continue to drive rate and demand over those dates.
Doug, thank you. Really appreciate you, man. That was really awesome. Thanks for being here.
Great to be here.
Yeah. Sorry we can talk to you longer, but the internet is pretty screwed here. All right. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate you. Anthony, anything you want to say before we get out?
No, I appreciate it, and I can see you right across from me.
Yes, you
And I
can.
know you're moving, but
Yeah. All right. Oh boy. All right. Let me mute you. All right, buddy. Right here. You've got